very warm good afternoon everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the formation of urine from the kidneys. Before we start going into the topic, we should know know something about the kidney. Kidneys are the very essential organ which helps in the excretion of waste products, secretion functions, and it's a very primary, it carries out a very primary mechanism in the excretory function. So for urine formation, urine is an excretory fluid that is eliminated by the kidneys. This urine contains all the metabolic waste products from the human body. So the metabolic waste products includes, there are lots of products. So we have urea, creatinine, uric acid, and all other products are waste products from the metabolism, and these are being excreted by the kidneys. So it involves 3 steps, that is ultrafiltration, reabsorption, and secretion. This urine formation actually happens in the nephron. Nephron is the basic unit of kidney. It's responsible for the excretory function. So the nephron contains Malpighian capsule. The Malpighian capsule, from the picture you can see, the Malpighian capsule contains the Bowman's capsule and the glomerulus together are called as Malpighian capsule. So the bulb-like structure is the Bowman's capsule, and inside we have the glomerulus. And then we have to know about the tubule structures. So there are renal tubules which contains proximal convoluted tubules and distal convoluted tubules and loop of Henle. So these 3 comprises the renal tubules. So actually the filtration happens in the Bowman's capsule and glomeruli, and then the reabsorption and secretory processes are carried out in the renal tubules. So together the urine is formed from the nephron, and it has been collected through the collecting duct. So the first process is the ultrafiltration. The blood from the aorta enters the kidney through the renal arteries. So the pure blood from the aorta, it's supplied to the kidney through renal arteries. So the renal artery enters the glomeruli through the capillaries. The arteries gets branched into capillaries, and final end is the capillaries, and it enters into the glomeruli for filtration. So in the glomeruli, the actual filtration happens. So we call them as a glomerular filtration, or the glomerular filtration rate is 125 ml per minute, and the filtrate, and this glomeruli alone filtrates about 180 liters of blood into 24 hours. So the filtration, in this filtration, water, ions, glucose and small proteins pass through the glomeruli filter and enters the Bowman's capsule. So from the Bowman's capsule it enters into the tubules for again reabsorption. So the filtration power of the glomeruli is very large. It almost filters about 180 liters of blood per day. So reabsorption. So the reabsorption includes the filtrate from the Bowman's capsule enters into the proximal convoluted tubule and into the loop of Henle, and again into the distal convoluted tubule. So in all these tubules the reabsorption takes place. The reabsorption of essential nutrients like glucose has to be reabsorbed, amino acids, potassium and other essential ions are reabsorbed in the tubules, first in the proximal convoluted tubules, that is PCT. So the ions, in a sense, the kidney is responsible for maintaining the acid base balance. So the reabsorption, selective reabsorption happens in the tubules. So actually the hydrogen ions and the bicarbonate ions are necessary to maintain the pH levels of the blood. So this acid base balance is maintained by the reabsorption process. If the blood has become more acidic, hydrogen ions are not reabsorbed from the urine. So more amount of hydrogen plus ions will be eliminated, the urine will become acidic. So if the pH of the blood is slightly rising due to different metabolic conditions, the bicarbonate ions will not be reabsorbed. So the reabsorption is selective reabsorption depending upon the body's requirements and need, and also the water. If we are dehydrated, the water reabsorption levels will be very less. If we are dehydrated, the water reabsorption levels will be high. If we intake more amount of water, the water will not be reabsorbed in the tubules. So in general concept, water and electrolytes are reabsorbed in the distal tubules. So in proximal tubules, glucose, amino acids and potassium are reabsorbed, and in the distal tubules, water and electrolyte components like sodium, potassium, chloride and other ions are reabsorbed in both distal tubules and the collecting duct. It helps in the maintaining the blood volume and the composition. The blood composition describes the acidity and alkalinity of the blood. The pH of the blood is maintained with this mechanism. So the rate of the reabsorption of glucose is 100% is absorbed in the renal tubules, and sodium is one of the electrolyte, is 99% absorbed. Sodium and water are 99% absorbed. That's why the glomerular filtrate is 180 liters, but the actual urine output is 1 to 1.5 liters. So a maximum amount of 99% of water is being reabsorbed in the tubules. That's why the urine output is low. So the next one is secretion. So along with the filtration and reabsorption, secretion is also happens in the nephron. So the filtrate flows into the loop of Henle, where the ions are further reabsorbed or secreted. If most of the ions are reabsorbed, then if body requires some of the ions, it is again secreted in the loop of Henle. And distal converter tubules and collecting ducts also secretes certain amount of negligible amounts of urea and certain components, hippuric acid, certain amino acid like components are also being secreted, which helps in the regulation of the electrolyte balance in the human body. So reabsorbed, most of the things are reabsorbed, and if necessary, the certain things are being secreted in the distal tubules, loop of Henle and also the collecting duct. So urine formation, thus after all these processes of ultrafiltration, reabsorption and secretion, the urine is finally formed, and through the collecting duct it enters into the ureter, and from the ureter it is collected in the urinary bladder, and in urinary bladder stores the urine for certain amount of time, and it has been finally eliminated through the urethra during urination. So thus the urine is being formed. We are going to discuss something about the composition and the properties of the urine. So this urine is a liquid waste product excreted by the kidneys. It is primarily composed of water. Water is like a solvent, and many solutes are also present in the urine, and dissolved substances includes the metabolic waste, electrolytes, organic and inorganic components. So the metabolic waste includes urea from the protein metabolism, creatinine and uric acid from the metabolism of our genetic material, and all those, and the organic and inorganic substances. So properties of urine. So urine is pale yellow in color, and due to the presence of the urochrome pigment, because of the presence of the pigment urochrome. So the fresh urine is slightly aromatic in nature. The aromatic smell of the urine is because of the ammonia content eliminating in the urine. So the normal pH ranges from 4.5 to 8. And the 4.5 is the alkaline pH, and 8 is the 4.5 is the acidic pH, and 8 is the alkaline pH. Usually the pH level of the urine ranges from 6. So it fluctuates both on acidic and alkaline side based on the metabolic reactions and disease conditions in the human body. So the specific gravity of the urine is 1.005 to 1.030. So the major components, composition of urine is water. 95% of urine contains water, and remaining 5% are solutes. Solutes includes the organic components, which is urea, it's a metabolic waste from protein metabolism, creatinine, uric acid, hippuric acid and ketone bodies. So these are all the organic substances present in the urine. Inorganic substances includes the electrolyte components like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, chloride, phosphate, sulfate and bicarbonate ions. So these are the electrolyte substances, also the inorganic components present in the urine. So the other substances like hormones, pigments and drugs and toxins are also present in the urine. So whatever the drugs we consume, the liver will get the drugs broken down. Drugs or toxic substances will the liver breaks down into simpler components, and it is being eliminated through the urine. Certain amount of excess hormones, in some cases, and pigments like urochrome and urobilin are also present in the urine. So the abnormal components indicates the disease or disorders. So if any abnormal components are present in the urine, which definitely indicates the underlying disease condition. So urine analysis is the first basic preliminary analysis to identify any kind of diseases. So for example, glucose is present in the urine in cases of diabetes. So protein like albumin is present in the urine in case of kidney diseases, when the kidney fails to function or kidney fails to reabsorb the essential protein or amino acids, it has been eliminated in the urine. So any abnormal amount of proteins or albumin in the urine indicates the underlying kidney disease conditions. And blood in hematuria, bacteria and pus, these are also will be present in the seen in the urine during the infection conditions or acute infection conditions like fevers, like malaria, hepatitis. In such conditions, urinary tract infections, the bacteria, pus level will all be seen in the urine. So depending upon the components present in the urine, the disease condition will be diagnosed. So these are the abnormal components. These are actually not present in the healthy individual. These will be present if the person has some disease condition. Thank you.